Welcome to the Salt Dome for the City of Grand Rapids Public Service Center. Hi, I'm Jamie Cardinal, market leader with Clark Construction Company, and it's not every day you get to build a salt dome like this, so we wanted to show you and tell you a little bit more about this unique project that we partnered with the City of Grand Rapids and Marcus Construction to build this salt dome with an integral conveyor system. This was a really unique design and construction because of the constraints of the site with the highway, the railroad, the river. It's a fairly tight site here with a less than a right angle in the corner here of the site, and so wanted to make sure that there was turning radius and room for trucks delivering salt and picking up salt. And so we landed on this structure with this configuration of the conveyor, but very exciting to see a new and improved space for the City of Grand Rapids and to be able to work through some of the technical challenges of this site and this type of unique build.
So we're looking at a dome that's capable of storing 8,000 tons of de-icing salt. I think that's about 16 million pounds. So if we consider the fact that it's only 100 feet in diameter and 65 feet high, I think that's a pretty efficient use of the space we were given in this instance. It's probably especially difficult to imagine when this is filled to actual capacity of 8,000 tons. I don't know if we have a tenth of that in here right now, but when the bottom of the pile is at the top of that concrete retaining wall and reaching all the way up directly under that conveyor, it's a massive amount. I think the challenges for this particular situation is the fact that it's marine adjacent, that can present soils issues. And generally for 8,000 tons, I would like to stretch it out to 150 foot in diameter. For this case, we had to get it down to about 100. So we ended up raising the walls to about 18 feet, 15 inches thick concrete, poured well over 300 yards between the footings and the walls. That's advantageous in the sense that the high walls are going to protect the building. If you have the wooden superstructure at a lower area, you're at way higher risk for collisions with equipment and the before mentioned truck traffic. The conveyor system as well, I think that's advantageous in the sense that it's 250 tons per hour. If your average salt truck is 25 tons, then it's 6 minutes to unload a truck, which is a pretty good rate. I believe that that type of building that we have out there is probably the most durable for this kind of application.
When we look at operations, it makes sense to have the material that we need in the same location as the staff and the equipment. So when it comes to winter operations, the closer that material is, the better off, the more efficient we are, the faster we can get out there and help out the community with street clearing and treatment of the streets. We were limited. So we were limited in space, we were limited in what we could do, and so what we did was we actually chose the location of the existing salt dome that the county had. It was in poor shape, so it was demolished, completely removed, and then a new dome constructed in its location. The site itself did have some issues you can imagine with a site that's been utilized for well over 100 years. And then prior to the road commission, there are rumors that the site had been used as a dump for the local neighborhood. So there was some contamination. There were some old fuel tanks that had to be removed that did have some leakage. In addition to that, I believe there was about 10,000 cubic yards of concrete that was buried and had to be removed to make way for some of the new facilities. And then also there were old car batteries. I believe at least a 40-yard dumpster worth of old car batteries. And the newest one we could find was from the 1960s, so nobody current day had any knowledge that those were there, but it had to be remediated. I have the hope that this site outlives me by a long time. In fact, we talked throughout the process, what is the life cycle of this facility? Is it 20 years, is it 50 years, is it 100 years? My hope is that 100 years from now, somebody's doing some remodeling on this site and it's still functioning just the way it is today.
So I've gotten a lot of questions about how it actually works, like what puts the salt in, what takes the salt out. And so just a quick overview is delivery trucks full of salt will come and drop the salt into the conveyor hopper, we call it. So it's kind of an underground pit, and the salt will go down into that pit. It'll be picked up by the conveyor, which the conveyor starts at the bottom of that pit and then conveys the salt up to almost the top of the salt dome. And it can fill the salt dome almost all the way full. So if you think about this salt dome has concrete walls to a certain height, and then it has a sloped roof structure. And that sloped roof structure actually mirrors the angle of repose of the salt. So when we drop the salt off the end of the conveyor, it will fill up and then it'll fill to a peak. So you won't be able to see it, but just imagine as you're driving by, you can see that the salt actually fills the peak of the roof too. And these are the things that keep our cities running and safe. And so there's a lot to see behind the scenes that I think is really interesting and worthwhile.